College wasn't worth it for me, and I don't think it's worth it for most people. As an 18-year-old, I was really into science and I just wanted to learn more about it. So I went to college, and first I was a nutrition major, then a biology major, then a chemistry major. And I hated the coursework, but every few months I would come across some really cool fact in a textbook, and that kept me going. Plus, by the time I had changed my major to chemistry, it was kind of too late to go to something else anyway, so I just wanted to get a degree. But I thought I like science, so that means I'll be able to like my job when I graduate, because I'll get some kind of cool science job. What really ended up happening when I graduated is that I couldn't find any jobs. The first job I got was working on the floor at a candle factory. The second job I got was working in the lab at a spice factory. But I was washing dishes for 3 hours a day. But they were science dishes. I bumbled around for years and now finally know that you don't have to give a shit about your job. Almost all jobs are pretty much just to make shareholders money now, so who cares if you like your job or not? Just get the paycheck and then do whatever you want with it. I'm more partial to science than most people still, I think, but I really don't care about it that much anymore. And the fact that I decided at age 18 that that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life is crazy. I have a degree that's completely useless to me. I will never use that. So unless you 100% know the exact job you want to do, not just the area or the field, but the exact job, then don't go to college. It's not worth it anymore. They don't prepare you for what actual jobs are. They're stuck in the 1980s teaching what jobs were in the 1980s. And it costs tens of thousands of dollars. And in my experience, having a degree did not help me get a job. Once I taught myself data analytics online, that's what got me a job. If you want to go to college, go. I'm not telling you not to. But if you're not sure, maybe you shouldn't go. I honestly think the best argument for going to college is the experience, because you kind of get to be an adult without being an adult. And some people have a lot of fun in their college years. Personally, I didn't have that much fun in college. I think it was partly because I majored in something that was just too hard for me. And maybe partly because I never really found my group of people, because I actually transferred 2 times. What was I doing? It's controversial, but I don't think you should go to college unless it's the only way to get the exact job title that you want to get. If you don't care that much about work, don't bother with college, just start getting paychecks.
Is college really worth it? So in today's video, we are going to be looking at various videos talking about not worth going to college. So if you're new to this space, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and let's dive right into the video.
You know, while I don't regret my college experience and I don't regret all of the amazing people that I met while I was in college, sometimes I question if getting a college degree was even worth it. Because the way that despite me applying to hundreds of jobs since graduating in 2018, I can count on only one hand, less than 3 fingers, how many jobs I've had that actually required that I had a bachelor's degree. And the other jobs that I got didn't require a degree at all. For some quick backstory, you all know that for this past spring semester, I was serving as a substitute teacher. Well, when school let out in May, your girl was out of a job. With that being the case, I spent the remainder of May and the month of June applying to jobs that fit what I have to offer, both in experience and education. When I tell you that despite revising my resume, I don't know how many times, despite me applying on various different websites, getting dressed professionally and going up to businesses in person and giving my resume in person, your girl didn't even get an interview, much less a job. It became very clear that I was going nowhere fast in securing a job, trying to apply for jobs that I felt that I was qualified for. So desperate times call for some desperate measures. And so with bills steadily piling up on my plate, I decided to apply to become a server. It's a quick turnaround time. I'd be working before I know it and making money and tips, and that to me would be better than nothing at all. And applying to be a server was the only job thus far that reached out to me to do an interview. And today I found out that I did not get the position. Even with a bachelor's degree in restaurant and hospitality experience, your girl did not get a job as a server. And even though I'm not too bummed out because school starts back soon and I'll have a job as a sub again, that job doesn't require a degree either. So right now I'm just sitting here wondering, was my degree even really worth it? And the fact that I have to pay back my student loan debt for a degree that isn't even getting me the jobs that I'm qualified for, much less jobs that I'm overqualified for, just does not sit well with me at all. And before y'all start with the whole rejection is God protection, listen, that sounds so great to say out loud. However, I cannot use that to pay my bills, okay? I can't use the excuse of divine intervention when bill collectors are calling my phone on the daily. Anyway, I made this video because I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person in my 20s experiencing this. I want to highlight the very unique heartbreak that people in our 20s are experiencing right now of painfully realizing that the definition of adulthood that we were taught and that we saw our parents live out does not exist for us in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. And that the resources and tools we were told that we needed to get ahead in life aren't resourcing or tooling. And I just pray that one day we receive the breakthrough that we deserve.
I wouldn't be surprised if universities cease to exist in the next decade, partly because of how they're handling these protests. People are paying thousands of dollars a semester to attend these universities that are then investing that money into companies that support genocide. And the goal of these protests is to get the universities to divest from those companies. And instead of divesting or even disclosing their investments, these schools are sending police officers to arrest the students. So now going to college doesn't just mean you're spending tens of thousands of dollars and racking up debt. It also means you're giving that money to companies that support genocide. And I'm not blaming individuals at all. I went to college and never had a thought about this stuff. But now that it's becoming common knowledge, I think people who are on the fence about spending tens of thousands of dollars to only maybe get a good job are going to start reconsidering. And people are already finding alternative ways to get really good high-paying jobs without going to college. Most good jobs are done from a computer now. What else can you do from a computer? Learn anything you want, which means you can learn how to do an entire job from your computer online for free. So why would you pay tens of thousands of dollars to go to a school that you know is doing evil things with that money?
Why is almost nobody talking about how no college graduates are getting jobs right now?
See, going to college is pretty worthless, and your time could be better spent developing the experience and the skills that you need to enter the workforce rather than going to college and getting a degree, because that piece of paper, truthfully, is worthless to meet the entry-level requirements that you need to get hired.
A recent college grad has vented about how insanely hard it is to get a job right out of college these days. The angry graduate vented on a since-deleted Reddit post, saying that the work of getting a college degree should qualify as experience in your field. As a student, this individual worked so hard that some nights they slept on the floor of the classroom and regularly spent 80 hours a week working towards their engineering degree, which is not uncommon. Of course, people with this work ethic are qualified to go into entry-level positions, yet recent grads are mostly just called lazy and entitled for expecting to be employable based on their education. And the truth is, it has never been as hard as it is now to get a job right out of college. The National Association of Colleges and Employers says hiring for 2024 graduates is down by 6% compared to 2023. And they predict it will take graduates up to 6 months to find a job. But if you ask me, it seems like people are in the job market for way longer than 6 months nowadays. And most internships are positions that used to be entry-level jobs. There were ways for recent grads to get their foot in the door and network and begin proving themselves. And now there are ways for companies to extract cheap or even free labor from students. Most often only for the most privileged students out there, because working for free is only an option for people with resources. And many other entry-level jobs are being done away with by technology, a trend that has always been around but is recently escalating due to artificial intelligence. In fact, a recent survey by Intelligent.com found that nearly 80% of companies plan to lay off recent grads and replace them with AI tools. Because obviously the best way for AI to integrate into our society is to replace workers by the masses and take all the value generated from those positions to make their capital owners richer. What a great system. Many companies are trying to address this mess by doing away with college requirements altogether. But will removing a requirement from a job listing actually change anything systematically? This recent grad and all other college graduates have a right to be furious. What will it take to finally change things?
Anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate.
She went on to say that she can't find a job, and I can tell you exactly why she can't. Most companies no longer care for degrees and prefer to hire people who already have the experience and the skill needed to work a position. So even considering going to college to get a job is a pure waste of time.
All that work and what did it get me?
So guys, after watching all these clips with people talking about not what going to college, having their certificates, looking for jobs, and they are not getting the jobs, even when they apply for jobs that they are overqualified for, they still end up not getting the jobs. So are you going to say that going to college is still not worth it, or is it worth it? Wow, this is such a painful one. I can imagine you paying your school loans, paying all the loans, and at the end of the day, what you're even paying for, you cannot use it to pay your bills or feed yourself. And after listening to the experiences of all these people, I think I would just rather want to make some money once I'm done with my high school. And when I start making that money, if I want to go to college, then I can decide if I want to go to college at that point. College is good. I'm not going to talk down on saying it's not good to go to college. When you go to college, there's this confidence that comes with it and the like. So guys, if you've watched up to this point, I want to believe you enjoyed watching this video. Kindly click on the subscribe button, like the video, share, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and we're going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.